When I told my stepdaughter I wasn't buying her a car, she exploded, "You're just a walking wallet." My fiancé actually smirked and said, "Well, she's not wrong." So I shut it all down, every supplementary card canceled. "Wallet's gone," I told them. I looked at them both squarely and said, "Go find a job." As a 46-year-old man, I honestly should have seen this coming. Looking back, the signs were clear for months, maybe even years. But when you're deeply involved, it's easy to rationalize, to make excuses, to convince yourself you're genuinely helping. My fiancée, 41, and I had been together for 4 years. Her daughter, 22, was 18 when we first met. She seemed like a nice kid initially, or so I believed. Polite enough, always saying thank you when I bought dinner, just normal interactions. We got engaged 2 years ago, and I purchased a 4-bedroom house in the suburbs, a good school district, even though her daughter was already in college. I made sure the house was solely in my name. My financial advisor recommended protecting my assets, especially since this was a second marriage for both of us. My fiancé didn't work much, just some part-time administrative roles that brought in perhaps $800 a month. Her daughter was supposedly enrolled at a community college. Here's where I made my biggest mistake. I wanted to be the good guy, a supportive future stepdad. So, I gave them both supplementary credit cards on my accounts. I covered the mortgage, utilities, groceries, absolutely everything. I paid for the daughter's tuition and books. I even provided them with monthly allowances. $1,500 for my fiancé and $800 for her daughter's expenses. Last Saturday everything changed. The daughter arrived home after spending time with friends. She burst into the living room where my fiancé and I were watching a movie. "I need a car," she announced, not asked. I paused the television. "What happened to the Honda?" I asked. "It's embarrassing," she scoffed. "Everyone else has new cars. I need something decent." The Honda was a 2019 Civic I'd bought her just last year, with only 30,000 miles on it. It ran perfectly. "The Honda is decent," I retorted. "It's barely 3 years old." "It's practically an antique," she exclaimed. "Do you know how humiliating it is pulling up next to my friends in their Mercedes and Audis?" My fiancé interjected, "Honey, she has a point. She's at that age where image really matters." I looked at my fiancé. She's 22. Image matters far less than financial responsibility. The daughter's face flushed. "Oh my God, why are you always like this?" "I ask for one thing." "You ask for things constantly," I countered, "and I consistently provide. I'm just not buying you a brand new luxury car." That's when she shrieked, "You're just a walking wallet." The room went completely silent and I froze. My fiancé, instead of scolding her daughter, actually smirked. She truly smirked and said, "She's not wrong." They both laughed as if it were a private joke we were all in on. I stood up, walked to my home office and logged into my banking app. It took perhaps 3 minutes to cancel both supplementary cards, remove them as authorized users and change all my passwords. When I returned to the living room, they were still laughing about something on their phones. "Wallet lost," I stated calmly. "Go find a job." My fiancé looked up, confused. "What?" "You heard me," I replied. "I just canceled both your cards. The monthly allowances stopped today. If you want money, earn it." The daughter's jaw dropped. "You can't do that." "Just did," I said. "Check your wallets." My fiancé sprang up. "Are you serious right now? Over a joke?" "It didn't sound like a joke," I said. "It sounded like precisely how you both view me. So, congratulations. The wallet is now closed." I went to bed in the guest room that night, locking the door behind me. Sleep didn't come easily. The next morning, I heard the daughter screaming about her card being declined at Starbucks, followed by my fiancé's voice, shrill and angry, demanding I fix this right now. I didn't engage. I made coffee, retreated to my office, and began meticulously documenting everything, preparing for the inevitable legal battle ahead. 5 days later, their sense of entitlement had reached truly insane levels. The day after I canceled the cards, my fiancé employed every tactic imaginable. First came the tears and apologies. "We were just joking. You're so sensitive. Can't you take a little teasing?" I told her, "If that's truly how you see me after 4 years, we have no foundation for a marriage." She then shifted to anger, yelling about how I'd trapped her, how she'd given up her independence for me, how her daughter needed support for college. I pulled up my records. "Your daughter is enrolled part-time at community college, 6 credits this semester. Tuition is $890 total. I've been sending her $800 monthly plus paying tuition. Where exactly is that money going?" Silence. Well, she has expenses, my fiancé finally said. What expenses? I pressed. I cover her phone bill, car insurance, gas card. What else could she possibly need $800 a month for? More silence. She stormed off. The next day, the daughter tried her hand at manipulation. She came to my office door crying. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. I was just stressed about finals and I took it out on you. You don't have finals, I pointed out. You're taking 2 classes. I checked with the college. Her expression instantly hardened. The tears vanished. You contacted my school? That's a violation of my privacy. I pay the bills, I explained. I'm entitled to verify enrollment. Turns out you've been part-time for 3 semesters while I've been paying for full-time. College is hard. I needed to ease in, she whined. That's perfectly fine, I said, but you lied about it. And you've been pocketing the difference in the tuition money I've been sending you. She didn't even bother denying it, simply stating, so what? You have plenty of money. I told her she had until the end of the month to find somewhere else to live. On day 3, my fiancée attempted a different approach. She showed up in lingerie trying to seduce me. When that failed, she tried to negotiate. What if we go to counseling? We can work through this together. There's nothing to work through, I stated plainly. You both showed me exactly who you are. But the wedding is in 8 months. We've sent deposits. I'll absorb those costs, I said. It's better than a lifetime of being someone's ATM. She started crying again, genuinely this time. Where am I supposed to go? I can't afford an apartment on $800 a month. That's no longer my concern, I told her. You have until the end of next month. Your daughter has until the end of this month. By day 4, the daughter's true personality fully emerged. She began stealing food from the kitchen, not eating it, but taking entire packages and stashing them in her room. She broke a picture frame. She accidentally left passive-aggressive notes everywhere. Thanks for ruining my life, scrawled on the bathroom mirror in lipstick. Very mature behavior. I installed a lock on my bedroom door and another on my office. Today, day 5, my fiancé's sister called. She began the conversation with, "What the hell is wrong with you?" I let her rant for a minute, then asked, "Did your sister tell you what really happened?" She retorted, "You're kicking them out over a misunderstanding." I laid out the entire situation. The walking wallet comment, the smirk, the college lies, the sheer entitlement. Her sister paused, then said, "Okay, that's bad, but you're really going to throw away 4 years over this?" "I'm not throwing anything away," I explained. "They showed me this relationship was purely transactional. They literally called me a wallet. I'm simply accepting reality." "You're being vindictive," she shot back. "My sister gave up her prime years for you. Your sister worked part-time by choice and lived rent-free in my house while I paid for everything," I corrected her. "She gave up nothing." She hung up on me. But here's where it got interesting. I received a call from my fiancé's ex-husband yesterday. He asked if we could meet for coffee. We met this morning. He's remarried and seemed like a perfectly normal guy. We talked for 2 hours. Turns out this is a pattern. His exact words were, "She did the same thing to me. Sweet at first, then entitled. Her daughter learned it from her. By the end of our marriage, I was just a paycheck." He was relieved I'd figured it out before marrying her. He told me that his stepdaughter, my fiancé's daughter, had pulled this with multiple people, burning through 3 different father figures with the exact same routine. Get comfortable, get entitled, then blow up when called out. I asked if he had any advice. He said, "Document everything. She's going to try to take you for whatever she can, and she'll turn you into the villain to everyone who will listen." He was right. My phone has been blowing up with calls from her friends, her other family members, all accusing me of being cruel, heartless, and financially abusive. I've been forwarding them screenshots of the daughter's Venmo history, which I have access to as the account holder since I set it up for her. $200 here for bottle service, $150 there for a spa day, $300 for shopping with the girls. All this while she's been telling everyone I refuse to pay for her education. Their narrative is collapsing, but they're not going down quietly. My fiancée tried to use her house key this morning. I changed the locks yesterday. I came home to find her sitting on the porch, suitcase beside her, crying into her phone about how I'd locked her out of her home. I opened the door. "It's my home. Your name isn't on anything. But you're welcome to get your things with a police escort if necessary." She looked up at me with pure hatred. "You're going to regret this." "I already regret wasting 4 years," I told her. "The rest is just damage control." I still need to get them fully moved out, deal with wedding cancellations and untangle our lives completely, but I'm sleeping better than I have in months. Even amidst the chaos, there's a profound sense of relief, like I'd been holding my breath for years and finally exhaled. More updates will surely come as this train wreck continues. 3 weeks later, the level of entitlement and dirty tricks has officially entered delusional territory. After I changed the locks, my fiancée hired a lawyer, not a divorce lawyer since we weren't married, but some guy she found who sent me a letter demanding an equitable distribution of shared assets, and claiming she had implied tenancy rights. My attorney laughed when she read it. "This is barely coherent," she said. "She has no claim to your house, your assets, or anything else. At best, she can argue for the return of her personal belongings." But the letter demanded 1. $50,000 for pain and suffering, 2. $30,000 for wedding expenses she incurred 0, I paid for everything, 3. Continued residence in my home for 6 months to find suitable housing, and 4. Her car, which is in my name and that I pay for. My attorney sent back a response that essentially said, "No. Come get your stuff." That's when the real game began. The daughter launched her campaign. She started an entire social media narrative about financial abuse and narcissistic stepparents. She never mentioned my name directly, but she posted pictures of our house, my car, and enough details that people could easily figure it out. Her comments were flooded with support. "You deserve better. He's toxic." The usual internet outrage. What she didn't anticipate was that I had receipts. Every Venmo payment, every tuition statement showing part-time enrollment, every credit card statement revealing that school supplies were actually clothes and bar tabs. I didn't post them publicly, but I did send them to 3 of her friends who had been particularly nasty in my DMs. I haven't heard from them since. Regarding the property situation, my fiancée initially refused to move out. She insisted I'd have to legally evict her, claiming it would take months. My attorney filed for a restraining order based on her increasingly erratic behavior, which I'll detail shortly. We secured a temporary order. She had 72 hours to collect her belongings and vacate. She showed up with a moving truck and her sister. They tried to take absolutely everything: the TV, the couch, the dining table, appliances. Her sister literally unplugged my microwave and started carrying it out. I had a police officer present, supervising, per my attorney's advice. "You stop them. Only her personal belongings, ladies." My fiancée started screaming, "I lived here. I decorated. This is half mine." The officer looked at the paperwork. "Ma'am, the house is solely in his name. You have no legal claim to his property. This is robbery." "He's stealing from me," she shrieked. The officer was losing patience. "Ma'am, calm down or I'll have to ask you to leave immediately." They ended up taking her clothes, some furniture from her bedroom that I'd agreed she could have, and various personal items. The entire time, she was sobbing and wailing about everything she'd sacrificed. Her daughter appeared near the end, took one look at the scene and sneered at me, "You know what? I hope you die alone." I didn't react, just watched her take her things and leave. The financial discovery after they left was eye-opening. I did a deep dive into the accounts and found things that made my blood boil. Remember those monthly allowances? My fiancée had been taking cash advances on her supplementary card before I canceled it, a total of $5,000 over 6 months. Just cash, no paper trail of her spending. The daughter had been using her card to buy gift cards at grocery stores, then reselling them online for cash, probably another $3,000 worth. Together they'd been running a side hustle on my dime. I documented everything and sent it to my attorney. She said, "This is fraud. You could press charges." I'm seriously considering it. The dirty tricks intensified. My fiancée started calling my employer, leaving messages with HR claiming I was unstable and needed help, and that I had threatened her. HR called me in. I brought my attorney who presented the full timeline: the canceled engagement, the eviction, the restraining order, plus recordings, legal in my state with one-party consent, of some of my fiancée's more unhinged voicemails. HR cleared me immediately and flagged her number. She then tried calling my mother, telling her I'd abandoned her and her daughter, that I'd promised to take care of them and was now ruining their lives. My mother, bless her, said, "My son doesn't owe you anything. You should have thought about that before treating him like an ATM." Then she hung up. The daughter's escalation continued. She tried to file a police report claiming I'd stolen her car. The car that's registered in my name, that I make payments on, that I insure. The police called me. I explained the situation, sent them the registration and insurance documents. They called her back and informed her it wasn't her car. She reportedly screamed at them about unfair laws and deadbeat stepparents. She also tried to break into the house one night. My new security cameras caught her attempting to open windows and doors at 2 a.m. I filed a police report, and they issued her a warning. The financial retaliation on my part was swift. I canceled the car insurance on her Honda. I reported to the finance company that I'd no longer be making payments and that they should repossess it. They took it within a week. She posted about it online. My stepdad stole my car. Multiple people commented, pointing out it was never legally hers. She deleted the post. My fiancé's ex-husband called me again. Hey, heads up, he said. She's probably going to claim you got her pregnant or gave her an STD or something. It's what she threatened me with when I filed for divorce. We haven't been intimate in 2 months, I said. Doesn't matter, he warned. She'll claim it anyway if she thinks it'll get her money. Just be ready. Sure enough, 3 days later, I received a text from her. I need to talk to you about my health. There are consequences to what you've done. I didn't respond. I forwarded it directly to my attorney. I'm not playing their games. Every threat, every lie, every manipulation attempt goes straight to my attorney. I document everything. I don't engage directly. I did, however, take one action that felt incredibly good. I sold the engagement ring. I got $8,000 for it, almost what I paid. That money went straight toward my legal fees. I also finally canceled the wedding venue and vendors, losing about $12,000 in deposits. It stung, but it's far cheaper than a divorce would have been. I started seeing a therapist not because I'm traumatized but because I wanted to understand how I missed the red flags for so long. She's been incredibly helpful. Where we stand now, my fiancée is living with her sister in a 2-bedroom apartment. The daughter is apparently couch surfing with friends. Neither has contacted me directly, only through attorneys. My attorney sent a final letter demanding they cease all contact, remove all social media posts about me, and stop all attempts to contact my employer or family. It threatened harassment charges if they continued. It's been quiet for 3 days, suspiciously quiet. My attorney says that's usually when they're planning something. So I wait. The house feels empty but it's peaceful. I've been slowly redecorating, donating the furniture she picked out and buying new pieces, making it truly mine again. Friends ask if I'm okay. Honestly, I'm furious with myself for wasting 4 years. But I'm also incredibly relieved. This could have been my entire life. 2 months later it's over. Well, as over as these things ever get. The legal finale came when my ex-fiancée filed a claim in civil court for unjust enrichment, arguing she'd provided domestic services worth $80,000 over 4 years and deserved compensation. Her attorney contended she'd been a homemaker who sacrificed her career to support me and should be compensated for her labor. My attorney systematically dismantled her case, presenting evidence that my ex-fiancée worked part-time by choice, not because I asked her to quit. I paid for all household expenses, her car, insurance, phone, everything. She received $1,500 monthly for 4 years, totaling $72,000 in allowances alone. Her domestic services consisted of occasionally cooking dinner and decorating. The judge was distinctly unimpressed, dismissed the case, and ordered her to pay my legal fees of $4,500. She stormed out of the courtroom yelling about corrupt judges and male privilege. Outside, her attorney literally quit on the spot, telling her he couldn't represent someone who wouldn't accept reality. The daughter's downfall was swift. Without my financial support, reality hit her hard. She dropped out of community college entirely, unable to afford even the part-time tuition. She lost her job at a retail store after 2 weeks because, according to a mutual acquaintance, she spent more time on her phone than working. Her friend group distanced themselves after she tried to borrow money from multiple people and never paid anyone back. Last I heard through the grapevine, she's working fast food and still living with various friends, burning bridges everywhere she goes. The pattern her stepfather warned me about is playing out exactly as he predicted. She'll find another mark eventually, there's always someone. My ex-fiancée's reality check continued. After the court loss, she couldn't pay my legal fees. My attorney put a lien on her car, the one in her name that she'd owned before we met. She had to sell it to pay the judgment. Now she's taking the bus. Her sister, who'd been letting her stay rent-free, finally gave her a deadline. Apparently, my ex-fiancée had been just as entitled there, not contributing to groceries, leaving messes, and expecting her sister to chauffeur her around. Her sister even posted on social media, which I saw via a mutual friend. Sometimes you learn family isn't who you thought they were. Setting boundaries isn't cruel, it's necessary. My ex-fiancée is apparently now renting a room in a house with 4 other people, and she has to work full-time at a medical billing company. The irony isn't lost on me. She's finally experiencing what she criticized me for not giving her more of reality. The social fallout persisted. Some of her friends still think I'm the villain, but I honestly don't care anymore. The people who truly matter, my actual friends, my family, all saw through the manipulation. My mother even told me she'd never really liked my ex-fiancé. She had empty eyes, Mom said, like she was always calculating. I wish she'd said something earlier, but I understand. You can't tell people who aren't ready to hear it. I lost a few couple friends in the split as they chose her side. That's fine. It simply showed me they weren't real friends anyway. The lessons I learned were expensive. The final tally of what this relationship cost me: $72,000 in allowances to my ex over 4 years, an additional $38,000 plus to her daughter, allowances, tuition, car purchase, $12,000 in lost wedding deposits, and $8,500 in legal fees, after recovering $4,500. Countless other expenses I didn't even track. Nearly $130,000 over 4 years for what? To be called a wallet. But here's the thing, I learned something crucial about myself. I've been trying to buy love. Not consciously, but that's what it was. I thought being generous made me valuable. My therapist helped me see that real relationships aren't transactional. The right person won't love you more because you spend more money on them. Where I am now, the house is entirely mine, redecorated and reorganized. Feels good. I sold some of the furniture she'd picked out and donated the money to a financial literacy nonprofit. It felt right. I'm not dating yet, I'm not ready, but I'm okay with that. Learning to be comfortable alone is important. Work is going well, I even got a promotion. Without the constant drama and financial drain, I could focus better. I've started being more careful with money, not cheap, just conscious. I hired a financial planner to help me make better decisions. My relationship with my mother has improved, we talk more now. She's been surprisingly wise through all this. As for my ex-fiancée and her daughter, I've blocked them everywhere. I don't know what they're doing now. I don't care. They're not my problem anymore. The ex-husband's vindication felt complete. I had coffee with my ex-fiancée's ex-husband one last time. I thanked him for the warning. He said, "I'm just glad you got out. I was in for 10 years before I saw the light. You only lost 4. He was right. It could have been so much worse. The final message came about 3 weeks ago. I received a handwritten letter from my ex-fiancée. It was long, rambling, started with, "I know you probably hate me," and went on for 3 pages. The gist was that she was sorry. She understood why I reacted the way I did. She'd been wrong. Her daughter had been wrong. They'd taken advantage. She admitted she'd been scared of being alone and had used me. She claimed she was working on herself, going to therapy, learning to be independent. It ended with, "I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I understand now." I read it twice, then placed it in a folder with all the other documentation from this mess. I didn't respond. What would I even say? Thanks for apologizing after costing me $130,000 in 4 years? Some things you can't fix with an apology. Maybe she has learned. Maybe therapy is helping her. Maybe she'll be better in her next relationship. But that's no longer my concern. The real ending isn't dramatic. There's no perfect revenge, no moment where they realized what they'd lost. They lost a meal ticket. That's all I was to them. And they're managing without me the same way millions of people manage. By working, budgeting, and living within their means. I lost $130,000 in 4 years, but I learned what I'm worth, and it's not measured in dollars. The engagement ring money went to legal fees. The wedding deposits are gone. Some furniture got donated. Life moved on. I'm 46 years old, single, living in a nice house and doing okay. It's not the life I planned, but it's honest. No one's using me. No one's taking advantage. No one's calling me a wallet. And you know what? That's enough. Could this have turned out differently? Sure. If they'd apologized immediately. If they'd shown genuine remorse instead of escalating their entitlement. If they'd recognized what they had before they blew it up. But they didn't. And I'm done caring about what could have been. Moving forward is the only direction that matters. To anyone reading this in a similar situation, trust your gut. When someone shows you they see you as an ATM, believe them the first time. It won't get better. They won't change. You're not being mean by setting boundaries, you're being sane. The wallet is closed permanently and I'm better for it. That's all, folks. Time to actually move on instead of just talking about it.